Abolitionists, white and black, trained themselves to be professional agitators. They preached their anti-slavery message in open fields and churches, in cities and villages. But as their assault on slavery intensified, so did the backlash from Northern whites. A mob dragged Garrison through Boston streets at the end of a rope. In Alton, Illinois, rioters murdered white anti-slavery publisher Elijah Lovejoy and destroyed his printing press.
What the abolitionists didn't realize was how deeply embedded in the social, economic, and political structure slavery was. They didn't realize how powerful the slaveocracy was, and they didn't realize how much racism had embedded the fabric of American life.
Most white Americans knew that slavery was wrong. The way they reconciled themselves to it was that to think that it could be abolished would bring worse consequences on the country. One is that it would disrupt the Constitution. It would perhaps unleash civil war. That it would unleash a large mass of free black people who were regarded as not assimilable in the society. That it would lead to calamities.
Dear beloved mother, Satan has come down in great wrath in this city of brotherly love, knowing his time is short. William Lloyd Garrison.
In Philadelphia, the new abolitionist meeting place, Pennsylvania Hall, had only been open 3 days when the National Anti-Slavery Convention of American Women gathered there. As women speakers took the podium, they could hear an angry mob outside.
Do you ask, what has the North to do with slavery? The spirit of slavery is here and has been roused to wrath by our abolitionist speeches and conventions. For surely liberty would not foam and tear itself with rage. Cast out first the spirit of slavery from your own hearts. Angelina Grimke Weld.
They were bringing women to the platform and having women speak in public, which was a brand new affair and a threat to the order as people understood it. And perhaps most notably, they brought black abolitionists onto platforms, speaking in public, telling their own stories in their own voices. All of this now, to many white Northerners, was a threat to the social order as they understood it.
The next day, the black and white women held their ground. But that night, as they emerged from the building, linked arm in arm, the mob stoned them.
The mob now increased to several thousand and got in the hall by dashing open the doors with their axes. They then set fire to this huge building, and in the course of an hour, it was a solid wall of flame.
For abolitionists, the message was clear. Demands for racial equality threatened not only the slave-holding South, but the privileges of whiteness in the North.
We think of the Jacksonian era as the era of the common man. And in a sense, it was the era of the common man, as long as the common man was white. And so here we have a great distinction between whiteness giving citizenship or standing or almost personhood. And no matter how rich you are, if you're black, you are not a person or you are not a citizen. And in the 1830s, over and over again, places like Pennsylvania, new legislation inserts the word white into the regulation of voting. So this is I would say, the great watershed of where whiteness makes the big difference in becoming a citizen.
The racial system, the system of white preferment in employment, in political access, in citizenship, came to embrace virtually all so-called white people in this country who did, in fact, have a stake in the advantages of racial supremacy. They had access to jobs, from which even free Negroes were excluded. They had the right to vote. So definitely white people gained from the system of racial supremacy. Without that, white itself would have been a meaningless category. It would have been simply a physical description like tall.